Cyberpunk 2077's Night City is filled with all the corruption, sins, and technology to form a believable corporate dystopia. There's very little that is left unharmed by the greed of humanity, destroying nature until a near zero animal population and to the point in which trees are on literal life support. We as a player, and especially V, never really get to catch a break. There seems to be no peace left to be had in Night City. However, there is one peculiar questline that stands out, one that despite its calming nature has risen a lot of eyebrows in the community. It all begins with an unassuming monk that is only known as the Zen Master. Who is this monk, and what are his goals? This is the mystery of the video to uncover. If you like to keep up to date on Cyberpunk 2077's vast lore, news, and overall future, make sure to subscribe and check out my other content. Let's begin. Prompted to speak with the stranger, he makes a bold claim that hits a lot of marks.
You start to fade. You have no strong roots to this world. You are losing touch with yourself. You must purify yourself, regain your equilibrium. I can help you.
The relic is currently in the process of overriding V's being with Silverhand as his replacement, a process in which the two of them have begun to merge, where V no longer knows if a thought is truly his own. However, this questline makes it clear this just may be the first time since the heist that V has truly been on his own.
I want specifics. What's in it for me?
Self-fulfillment. You shall hear your voice, and only yours. All else will become silent.
As a monk, the Zen Master provides us with spiritual guidance that seems unrivaled throughout 2077. His entire appearance and being seems to guide V along, throughout different locations that nobody in Night City would be capable of seeing otherwise. Unless, of course, you gain access to a corporate setting, such as the Arasaka board meeting, which is the only place in the game we see anything similar to these Braindances, a classic for a dystopian setting. Only the rich get to experience what humans should already have access to. If you pay close attention, you'll notice a specific sequence of numbers when prompted if you'd like to tip the Zen Master for his Braindances. 144, 233, 377, and 610. The importance this number sequence holds is ultimately tied to the Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers where the next number in the series is found by adding up the two numbers before it, a sequence also tied into the golden ratio. The relationship is that the ratio of each pair of numbers in the Fibonacci sequence converges on the golden ratio as you go higher in the sequence. While this has a lot of math and history behind it, what you ultimately need to know is that this is a mathematical ratio commonly found in nature and is used in various fields. It is used in our day-to-day lives, art, and architecture. Objects designed to reflect the golden ratio in their structure and design are more pleasing and give an aesthetic feel to the eyes. It can even be noticed in the spiral arrangement of flowers and leaves. There also happens to be a spiritual meaning we can pull away from this sequence. It acts as a map for spiritual growth. We start in the beginning, where we begin to understand that our actions have reactions. To gain the knowledge of where we disconnected and how to move on helps us spiral out. The option provided to V about giving eddies to the Zen Master isn't one of monetary importance, but rather the ability to give to another out of your own choice. V can learn that despite being accustomed to Night City, a society that only seems to take, you can still choose a righteous path. Alongside this, just like the sequence implies, V can develop as a person and learn from their past. The golden ratio in this situation can even represent the Braindance architecture itself, though ultimately, it's up to you and your V's decisions to pull anything of value from this questline. So yes, a monk is providing us spiritual guidance. The big question is just who is he? Well, let's explore some ideas that seem to be extremely prevalent in this questline, the first of which being a takeaway you might end up with after a simple playthrough. that the Zen Master is a hallucinative figure contained only within V's mind, one that no one else can see. A portion of a subconscious that is a manifestation between Johnny Silverhand and V's current mental state, the ongoing process of V being overwritten and the stress induced by Silverhand's consistent hovering and aggressive persona. It is ultimately V attempting to find a peace of mind amongst all the chaos. There actually is an interesting piece of information that seems to promote this idea. The Zen Master speaks in samurai quotes.
Metal, concrete canyons, neon eyes. The filth of the world suffocates you.
Concrete canyons, squinting neon eyes. Wrapped all beside me, a shadow meeting line.
This theory essentially equates the Zen Master to that of the tarot cards we find around Night City. But this mysterious figure doesn't seem so simple to figure out. There is what seems to be a 0% possibility that the Zen Master is an isolated occurrence connected to V and the relic. You might ask why. Well, there's two explanations behind why this couldn't be. The first of which being that you can find a message on Misty's computer asking about the Zen Master. This person, by the name Tinker, claimed that no one batted an eye at him, as if he wasn't even there. It seems likely that the Zen Master is capable of appearing to only those he deems worthy. So, he may not be a personal manifestation for V. But, I've also seen an unbelievable claim thrown around. Some seem to have the cynical idea that the Zen Master is actually some form of a scam artist, that all his mission is meant to do is push BDs out to those who don't know better. I'm not entirely sure where this idea comes from though, since not only do you not have to pay for the BDs, but he also provides you a gift at the end of your spiritual journey. Just because he isn't a scammer doesn't mean there isn't any suspicious activity at play though. It seems to me that there is even a possibility that the Zen Master is an extremely talented netrunner. While the Zen Master may not be an hallucination unique to the relic, this doesn't nullify the idea that he isn't at the physical location, that he is possibly a projection shown through the eyes of his students. He can obviously select who can visually see him, but it might initially seem that he's indeed there physically, due to him leaving behind the altar, shard, and robes. But does this actually imply that he had a physical appearance at the location? I have reason to believe it doesn't. The implication that the Zen Master is capable of selectively appearing in a person's eyesight also means that he can control what they see. Through the use of technology and net running techniques, it seems that he would be capable of displaying these items in a realistic manner through the cybernetics of V, not only making V see these items, but feel that he's actually interacting with something that isn't there. This is a corporate technology we are speaking about here. The ability to control a population's very perception would be an extremely lucrative concept. So why wouldn't corporations have this ability wired into their cyberware? This is further backed by his robes being left behind at this location. If the Zen Master wasn't displaying himself through V's Kuroshi optics, kind of how Songbird does in Phantom Liberty, this would mean that the Zen Master ran off naked or became one with the Force. You tell me what seems to be the most likely situation of the three. This leaves another question though. Who exactly would have the capability to netrun in this capacity? These abilities seem to be beyond even the top tier netrunners we encounter within 2077. So, who could pull it off? Well, it seems that Maximum Mike and his viewers on Morio Radio just might have an idea behind this. For those who don't know, Maximum Mike is actually the self-insert of Cyberpunk creator Mike Pondsmith, the man who crafted the tabletop RPGs that are actually the canon predecessors to 2077. So to have a theory-based radio station from the creator himself is extremely valuable. Take a listen.
So people, listen up, I've got a story to share with you. Recently, I've been hearing about this monk that's been walking around Night City streets, healing the sick, but only those he deems worthy. Some of my listeners seem convinced that it's none other than Rache Bartmoss. Rache Bartmoss. Yeah, you know, the guy, the chief architect of the net, and later its badass destroyer. The rumor has always been he got taken out by a kill sat in the early days of the Fourth Corporate, but no one ever took responsibility for that strike. Is it possible Bartmoss set his creations wild and faked his own death? Did he bring down the net he created because it had turned into another tool the corporations could use to track us and ultimately completely subjugate us? Think about it.
One of the first key takeaways from this clip is that the monk is actually healing those who encounter him, lining up with V's own experience. This is fully realized at the end of the questline, as Silverhand actually has a negative reaction in contrast to V's.
And he is gone. At least he left something.
Fuck, I feel like a dog's shit.
You see that? There was a Zen Master here, and poof, vanished like that.
The fuck are you talking about?
He taught me how to meditate. It was kind of weird.
Not my scene. Go and talk to Misty if it bothers you.
Yeah, good idea.
The Zen Master may have been capable of postponing the relic's process, or at least relieving its pain, though it seems to do the inverse to Johnny Silverhand. It's also made clear that Silverhand never saw the monk, meaning that this monk was capable of cutting off Silverhand's stream of conscious from the relic, and was at least in some form aware of him, noting the Black Dog lyrics. So, why Bartmoss? Well, I've actually made a video on the idea that Rache Bartmoss is alive, but the basic rundown is that despite his physical body being killed in 2020, he continued to live on within the net for another 2 years, a secret that was only known to those closest to him, such as Spider Murphy. When Arasaka had dropped a rock on his location from space, this was targeting his physical body without any knowledge that it was already dead. Even then, his body remains intact by the time of 2077, when his fridge is disposed of. There's no real evidence of his actual death. There's been multiple occasions in which Netrunners live on after their physical body has died. This is made all the more evident since Rache had access to not only Soulkiller, but the Self-Construct program, which would create an engram at the moment of physical death for a Netrunner. Now, it is claimed within the TTRPGs that Bartmoss was disgusted by the idea of using Soulkiller on himself. However, Bartmoss isn't necessarily the most reliable person. He tends to commonly exaggerate and lie without any hesitation, so we have no idea what was really going on in his head. It's possible that he just used the distraction of the data crash and his supposed assassination to slip out into the net, to focus on objectives that others are unaware of. Of course, his immense net running capabilities make him a front runner to be a mysterious monk capable of healing and disappearing mysteriously. Just because Bartmoss could be alive doesn't mean he is objectively the Zen Master. There remains many questions at play. The Zen Master could even be a rogue AI from beyond the Black Wall, one with its own peaceful objectives in mind as it aims to provide its own sense of fulfillment through others. The singular goal? To travel and spread its Zen knowledge. We know that not every AI that escapes the Black Wall is antagonistic in nature. Our closest and dearest taxi pal Delamain is actually from beyond the Black Wall, and his primary objective is to provide an amazing taxi service. At the end of the day though, we also need to realize that this could actually just be a monk, one with the innocent task of helping others reach enlightenment and self-fulfillment, who doesn't seek any other value. It's even possible that this monk just has an unheard of influence on those around him, capable of altering their chakras or spirits in some form, which would explain his ability to be invisible in the eyes of those he doesn't wish to interact with. Maybe even I am the Zen Master, one who seeks to guide you all to enlightenment through the theories and knowledge I provide in my YouTube Braindances. However, I want to hear all your thoughts and ideas down below. Do you have a personal belief on who the Zen Master is, or do you just follow his guidance and don't get caught up on the rest? I'm interested to see how this questline has influenced your train of thought. As always, thanks to all the channel members on screen. I appreciate all the support you Chooms provide, and feel motivated to provide content I can be proud of. Make sure to have a great week, and I'll see you later, Chooms.